Oh.
Oh man, the road's blocked.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Step one is we're gonna have to get ourselves unstuck.
Yeah, I'm scraping bottom, so you're gonna have to get up somewhere safe.
That's amazing.
Oh, no. Don't go in the ditch.
Do we have a choice? Like, can we only go forward?
Probably just gonna set up for the night up here and hope that it's frozen in the morning.
We just did one of the most insane mistakes I've ever made on a trail.
We are gonna use the fuel we have. Not the best situation, I'll tell you that. Yeah, inch by inch.
And we're winching, digging.
What a relief, what a relief, what a relief. Okay.
Fix it a little bit.
Cut in, and we may or may not use all this, but just in case, so. I guess I'm talking to that camera. The year is 2020. A global pandemic has just been declared, forcing us to abandon our winter plans in the southwestern US and Baja, Mexico. Instead, we drive from the Mexican border back to Canada. Crossing over, we're told to quarantine for 14 days. For nearly 5 years, we've lived free as a family, roaming mountains, deserts, and beaches worldwide. But those 14 days in an apartment nearly broke us. On the 14th day, we broke free and never looked back. We plunged into the wilderness of British Columbia, camping by lakes, streams, and mountain peaks. Today we're stocked with fuel and supplies, aiming to cross Canada to our island in Ontario, sticking to the backcountry, dodging people as much as we can. The road ahead feels abandoned. Rock slides scatter the path, but we press deeper into the wild.
My goodness.
Look how fast he's running.
Just
What a fast dog.
full speed. And he could go like that for hours. What a dog.
Look at him.
He's still running that fast. Whoa.
He's probably not even halfway tired.
Well, now he's probably pretty dummy. He's gonna jump in the river.
Easy there, Phil.
There's rocks on the road. That's a close one to our death. That rock was like a millimeter under both of our jibs.
I was worried about that. There's footprints on the road of
This beauty. Hopefully we see them, but I've got Rena's a little clicker for just in case.
Okay.
Look at that river. Look how crazy it gets when it's flooded.
It's a great way to cross Canada rather than going on the highway.
That's for sure. I wonder how crazy this river is when it's flooded. Look at all those dead trees carried up on there.
Love this road.
It's kind of funny. this stuff you were streaming.
We're officially in the Rockies now, no longer in the Kootenays.
Wow.
So we had planned to spend the winter. In fact, the last 5 years we always chased summer. So as soon as it started getting cold in 2020, we started heading south and made it all the way to New Mexico along the Mexican border. We were geared up for and dressed for southern weather. And we headed out into the mountains and we started up this path. Now we were going to take a backcountry route back to the island. We weren't in a big hurry. We were trying to avoid towns and villages as much as possible, only going in from time to time for fuel and food.
Got it. I can slide through there and down the whole thing.
That big camp here, right by the river with that mountain.
That's amazing. Look at the hoodoos out there too. Wow, that's all in view.
Well, look at those voodoos.
Hoodoo. You got the radio. Pretty. Baited wolf traps in this area keep old dogs on leashes, is what that said. Lando would smell that out before a wolf ever could.
Wow.
Is that an avalanche?
Yeah, it must have been a snow avalanche that's all brown now.
Were you able to get that thing?
Oh.
Oh man, the road's blocked.
Oh my word.
Oh my goodness. That's insane.
No way.
I don't know where to go now.
Oh, that's just crazy. It's blocked by an avalanche. Here, let's get out and check this out.
No stopping avalanche zone, but we're gonna have to turn around. There's no way to go over that.
Someone hop
Yeah,
out.
I just want to look at it.
I just need to go touch it, but that's
Crazy.
That's insane, wow.
you don't think.
I'm glad it's not avalanche. I mean, the snow is melted off now, so we're not in danger, but wow, that blocked the road. We're gonna have to find another route.
Oh wow.
It's like nothing else.
Those are no joke, eh?
Yeah.
This is like concrete.
Look at all these trees broken in it. Look at it, you can see the slide. It would have come from right up on that cool rock and slid straight down here. The first one to get hit by a snowball from an avalanche. From an avalanche. Not get caught in the second one. There is no snow like this. Wow. Look at how much snow would have had to come down. Imagine how big it would have been when it first hit. Look at that, there's no trees. There's no trees left where the second slide went down there and blocked it even further. Wow. You know, you probably could drive over this.
So we let them talk us into it, and we went, despite an element of danger. I mean, there was always a danger we'd slide off, and it was quite a steep descent. And if we had slid off the avalanche and got stuck, I mean, we're pretty much stuck for pretty much for good. But especially after being cooped up for 14 days, I don't know if our decision would have been different had we not just come out of that, but maybe it was just that desire to get back out there and adventure. You know, we had been living free for the last 5 years and with no restrictions and not being held back, or we could come and go as we pleased all around the world, living in the Jeeps, living wild and free. And so that moment in time will always stick with us, how awful that was, being cooped up. So this was kind of a release and an expression of all that angst to get out and have an adventure.
Nice. Can you make it further?
It was just stunning and so amazing to see our first avalanche. And of course, the boys wanted to test out the equipment and test themselves out. And it was really neat to see boys being boys and their curiosity of like, can we do this? And they just wanted to test themselves. And I was pretty, as a mom, I was like, just like what Pete was thinking, no, I don't want to do this. Like, I had no interest. But then seeing them, and then even Caroline, our daughter, was like, yeah, this could work. This is just amazing. And so they kind of fueled us, as always, to push ourselves and get out of our comfort zone and try something. Just try it. Why not? Like, who can really say they've crossed an avalanche,
Yeah.
So, and together as a family.
Well, we'd have to dig some of this down a bit and throw it that way.
I'll grab the shovels.
And just, shoot, we might be able to cross it. He's snapped off on the way down.
We could use these to fill in zones like in World War I. They drop sticks into cracks and in trenches. Wait, just stay there. We'll put it in front. You're on this one. Guys, Peter's putting that one under. Try going. Okay, got it. Let the layers spin. Just stay there, we'll move it. Good job with the back, in front of the back tire. Jam it into it. Yeah. In 4 low. Alright. Try it. Landon, move. No, I'm not. Right here. Keep going on it. Alright. Awesome. Okay, let's put him in front again. No, you want to air down and do it? Yeah, it gives a lot more traction. Oh yeah. There we go. Keep going. There. There you go. Yeah, too deep. Make a ridge, kind of.
You can't sit on the camera.
We'll put max traction, stay there. We'll let us replace those then. Yeah, because we kind of missed the traction pad. Once we go at it, we got to make sure we don't slide.
Lando.
Just stay there.
This is going to be the hardest part right here.
We have the most sticks on that side, Mom. Perfect. Oh, this right here. Here. This on the first one. Wait. There, once we're on top of this and we're almost in the creek. Try to put the next max up. And shove this one in where I dug. I'm gonna have to kick it and move. Good stuff, Ed. We're making it somewhere. We gotta put these on top of the place. Yeah. Once you get up here, we're just gonna have to build a little bridge.
Can I just go once we're going down?
Yeah, you probably could. Good trip on our yacht.
That's what he rolls back and kicks that one first.
Oh. See, look here. If we went down in here, we'd be done.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, if you don't want to put these on there. You done? You done? Yep. Oh, is that front not moving? I don't want to dig in. Here. This on the first one. Wait. Alright. It's in the middle console?
Yeah. I think so. That's right. Put it. I gotta go and free it up. It's gonna be.
You get an ice pick. Yeah.
Out or in?
Out. Out. Pull tight.
Okay.
Kind of stink.
You have to make sure you're turning this way for the first bit. Don't want to the next country. This way.
Look at Lando.
Watch it, you might tie it. You're gonna tie the wheel. Let me loosen you up. I'll undo you. Make sure you turn that way on. Lando, you're in the worst spot.
Okay. Woohoo!
Can't believe it. All right.
What do you think, Lando?
You literally just drove over an avalanche.
Yes.
That's insane. That's so stinking cool. The next one we can just drive around.
Now we got to get Vandy over that hill, but over that avalanche. But we made a bit of a track, and I think we should be all right.
She's a bit more heavier, so I think if we tie each other up with our worn winches
Yeah, I'll turn around so I can
Winch to him.
winch to
to Vandy.
Vandy. Yep.
Sweet. Good job, Worsley.
That's insane.
We only have two max tracks. We definitely need two for Worsley. We actually didn't have time to get it in our kit so that we could have 4 at a minimum. But man, those things are handy. They work great.
How far down?
just gonna air down a bit more on the tires, give us a bit more traction, and we're gonna get Vandy to go over. We watched Ronnie Dahl's video on the best the best tools for airing down, and he really highly recommended these, so that's what we're using.
What are they?
Stick.
Oh.
Good old Vandy. That is hilarious. Vandy is a real Arctic Jeep.
It's amazing. I don't know what it is. I don't even have the 4 posse track or whatever it is, the lockers. I don't have lockers, and yet I just drove over that.
That's insane. Vandy is the Arctic Jeep.
So good old Vandy, she did it in one shot. Unbelievable. I mean, she's like 10 times heavier, but man, she's plowed right through that. We aired down the Patagonia tires. Man, those things are beauty on mud and snow, sand, everything. Oh, my heart is racing. I was so proud of her. And Pete, he's a good driver.
Smaller tires, older vehicle. It's insane. We were winching, digging,
Vandy is the boss. Oh man, that's too funny. It just drove over that. I just barely applied gas and boom, 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 boom.
Were you even in 4 low?
Yeah, 4 low.
Okay.
But I mean, of course, Worsley made a track, which helped. And I knew what to expect, so I just kept momentum. I drove over that with nothing. It didn't need anything. All right, on to the next avalanche. That one's a lot smaller, but let's do it.
I think we can even drive around. We should winch away the log.
Yeah, we'll have to yank that. Well, let's clean up the max tracks and hit the next avalanche. So this is the dead man we used on the beach. It's made for sand and snow. So if that log wasn't there, there's absolutely no stumps. Typically you would find a stump, but there wasn't any. So we took the bag off because that would be our next line of defense. We'd dig a hole, bury the dead man, and pull ourselves out with the winch. But those Warn, on both Jeeps we have a Warn Xeon, I think it's called the Warn Xeon 10, and those things are just awesome. They work so great.
Let's make sure we get all of our tire or seating mats.
We need to use the winch again. We're going to winch a log. If you look over here, now the other part of the avalanche went down. It's a much smaller one. We'll be able to drive right over it, but we're just gonna have to yank that log out of the way. So we'll probably just hook up a winch, pull it off, and carry on.
Unless we can make it around it.
Let's hope there's not 10 more avalanches in the road ahead. All right.
How Vandy was doing, I think we could just drive right over it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm impressed with that machine. Is that a moose dropping? Or
start filming. Yep. Okay, so that was really fun. It's those kinds of adventures you don't get unless you really push yourself out of your comfort zone. There's so many things that could have gone wrong with what we were doing there. Especially since we only had 2 max tracks. It's something we'd definitely look into getting more of after this. But what a fun thing to do. It's kind of almost a once in a lifetime experience, you know, coming up on these mountain roads, coming up to a massive avalanche that's blocked the road entirely. I remember just paving a way through it, digging trails and driving hard. It was a lot of fun. We're just going past the second avalanche. It's smaller now, and we only have to get around some logs right on the edge of the road. But what a crazy fun thing. Yeah, I was gonna say, look at these old avalanches that took down tons of rocks with them.
There's one up here, but I don't think it hit the road.
We shall see. Buckle up. mountain. Or it must have just detached from right there.
Yeah. Huh. Though I don't see, no.
I don't see how high it went.
This must be like a really old big one. There's just like the milk left. You think this is just a really old big one, or did it just detach from just a little ways up the hill there? I don't think that much
Probably
snow.
happened the same time as the other one, just didn't go as far.
So after the excitement of the avalanche, we start heading up the road, continuing on to our journey. Now, the last time I had Wi-Fi, I punched in a little town called Elkford, BC, and I noticed it had a fuel station. So I put that in the GPS and thought, we'll just drive to that town. It said 90 minutes, an hour and a half drive. And we thought, okay, we can do that. We'll get there before dark. We'll find a camp spot outside of town, camp overnight, and then fuel up in the morning and carry on. Whoa, question. And the bridge. Yeah, well.
Those mountains are insane.
And we were still kind of on a high from just conquering the avalanche, and we weren't really paying too much attention. We're laughing and chatting and talking back and sharing our experience, and all the while we're climbing and climbing without noticing in elevation, getting higher and higher, and before long we were in the snow.
Upper and forward.
Ooh, I was in it the whole time.
Slippery. Looks like only snowmobiles have gone down this trail. Now we got a hill coming up. Oh yeah, keep her moving.
I hope it doesn't go too high here, this is crazy.
Yeah. I slide a lot though. It's epic snow trails now. Snow and ice. Just gotta keep moving.
Hey, gravel! And back to snow.
Oh, no. Don't go in the ditch. Okay.
Running and gunning, man.
This is like 8 feet deep. Craziness. Wow, we made it this far and we gotta keep going now.
Smells like a snowmobile. It's because there's cold hitting engine. Bridge. A bridge. Oh, it's a small one, good.
What is he doing? Spinning.
Spinning. Because he's plowing the trail, right? We can rip. You've got epic. guys are plowing through that stuff.
Just stop and check the map.
Okay. Wow. Just plowing through snow.
So looks like it carries on through the pretty much the same kind of elevation for a long ways, and then we go down. So yeah, it's snowier, deeper snow than we expected, but what do? You just keep going. It's May 1st, and this was no ordinary snow. I have no idea. Wait, before you come in here, I'm getting stuck. Warm temperatures had turned it into slushy ice pellets, 3 to 4 feet deep, with a hard crust on top. Breaking through meant sinking into the soft mess below. Our only hope was to glide over the surface, pushing onward.
Unbelievable.
track's
I'm
all the
not
way
moving
through.
anywhere. Don't move. You might have to back me up.
Max track?
Do we have a choice? Like, can we only go forward?
I have no idea.
There's that bridge up ahead.
I think just around the bend there is a bridge.
If we can
check out the depth of the snow.
If we can back him up and then just
Maybe
keep.
like 4 feet deep for crying out loud. Yeah, I'm scraping bottom, so you're gonna have to get up somewhere safe and tow me out.
Winch you?
Sure.
Well, we came to another difficulty on this road. Hit some really deep snow.
I don't know how long the winch is, but that's probably about it.
And
As long as you put it in park.
we're gonna have to winch Worsley out now because it got to where we're scraping bottom and you can't make it any further. We tried just floating like a boat through it, but it didn't work. So we gotta back out and find a new route. Back out and find a new route. Haha.
Yeah, that's steep.
So coming downhill and getting stuck probably should have been an indicator that this isn't good snow. People would say, look, that's not that deep. You could just push through, gun it, give it some gas and gun through. And you can do that when you're dealing with light, fluffy snow, like what's falling right now. It's cold, it's light, it's fluffy. Because it was May 1st, things were starting to melt. The snow had turned into ice crystals, little round balls, and you could get no grip at all with your tires. It would fill in the treads with ice. And so if you rammed it really hard, what happened was you would break through the crust. There was a bit of about a foot or less of ice that had been packed by snowmobiles throughout the winter. And under that was soft and mushy stuff that if you broke through that upper crust, you get into the soft stuff below and you get badly stuck.
That shoots him right out.
You can tell that.
You okay?
Oh my goodness. Literally all the way up to my hip. Wow.
I don't know if it's smart. Well, we don't have any choice. We got to go forward, but we're going to get worse and worse stuck. I don't know.
The area we're in is the deepest spot. All the way up our lane. Then we get to White River. Let me undo it and then give it a run.
I wonder if I can run it from here.
Can you undo it?
When you walk down there, it looks like off to the right is a bit harder than the left.
Yeah.
Just not too far. Where he is, tell him to leave it on for a bit.
The center of the trail is the toughest, so maybe if you have one tire on the center, might help things.
Yeah, maybe wrap her up, Pete.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I've been trying to trudge through this.
No, shouldn't have spun.
It's actually better to go slow.
Yeah, going forward, I'll just take it slow. Try not to spin, and that'll keep you up high. But just keep moving once you're moving, and if we have to winch, we will.
Get that, keep moving and keep moving.
You got her. Were you able to get the max tracks?
Only one, and we have a mat, and we need a shovel to get the other one out. It's buried.
Okay, once you're down here, we'll hike back and get it. The road ahead is easier than the road behind.
Oh, I have my phone.
Just gotta make sure we don't stop or dig ourselves in. Worsley made a nice way through though.
Good old Vandy.
Vandy looks like a classic like world travel vehicle.
Seems quite a bit different with the travel.
When it gets really deep up here, there's kind of drift.
Speed, am I good?
Good old Vandy, yeah?
Keep her going right here. This is a deep one.
Edge of the clear. Made it.
Yeah. Sweet.
Awesome. We did it.
Good old Vandy.
Yeah.
Good driving though. I like keeping from spinning so you don't go down. That's good. Now, who's gonna hike all the way back up there and get the tracks? Lando, go fetch him. That'd be nice. All right, let the engine cool, although you didn't have to push too hard. And,
Yeah, it's buried. We're gonna have to
Can't
use
pull it
take
out.
the shovel.
Yeah.
I'll go
Little
with you,
one.
Mel. We got gloves.
My heels.
Yep.
What's the meaning of life?
Living. Their tires are more aired down than ours, so if they can make it through, then we can a lot easier.
Inch by inch.
How does it look on the map? We're almost there.
No. Well, there's the town. Yeah, we're getting off a lot closer, but
I think at that corner, do we start going down?
it looks like
Yeah.
a really steep sharp.
Okay, I'll walk ahead.
Yeah.
Or do we need to winch going up a little bit?
Yeah, sort of. I'm just making I'm trying not to spin and just making tracks, but I'm curious to see how Vandy would do. But I'm just gonna keep at it, and then the boys can come up behind. So it was winching for inches, as the boys called it, and you'd drive a bit and get stuck, and sometimes we'd get some good snow, and maybe the sun had got at it more than other places, and we could drive, and sometimes we'd drive for, you know, half a kilometer. And we'd think, oh, this is working pretty good, you know, and then you'd get into a clearing where, or into a spot that was shaded where the sun hadn't hit the snow, and all of a sudden you get stuck. So it really, there was different snow no matter where you went, and it kept changing from little moments of victory to crushing defeat and getting stuck almost hopelessly.
Right after this mud thing, it gets really deep, and he got stuck on the corner a few times.
Hop on now and just wow. Yeah, let me get back there. It's like 6 feet deep. Watch your face.
Just a bit at a time.
Your diff is right in the snow. Let me undo you and then just try going. Lay it down once you get close.
it.
Hey, Da! I'll just practically drive through anyway. Let's go away because there's too many levels of stuff. This is where somebody can get hurt because we have more than one level, so we're taking extra precautions going really far back.
It's kind of wet and cold, eh?
A little bit. I can't feel any part of my feet up to my
Well,
ball of my ankle.
let me check out your. Oh yeah, nice.
Proper winter gear. Even that big one. As long as we can get through one of those big trees, doesn't matter what we have under. If you have the radio, let me get out of the way first. You right, Pete? Just
Tell Dad to be careful.
go. Start going slow.
Think we can reach that big tree now?
Hey Pete, you think we could reach the big tree?
Probably.
I'll go ahead a wee bit.
Okay, I think your bat's dying. Want to give the thing a go? You're going to be pulled into that ditch.
So I think we can reach that big.
Yeah, definitely.
We're going about 3-4 feet at a time, but we're making it. Once we're over this hump, I hope we're gonna hit some downhill.
Oh my goodness, I can't feel my feet. I don't know how the boys are doing it. They've been going for about 6 hours now. Soaked. We thought we'd be in New Mexico and those places. We didn't bring winter boots.
And we made it to a tree that's actually in our path, so that should help. I think we're good now. Hopefully I'm not gonna count my chickens before they hatch. Try to stay on top of the snow as much as possible, so when the winch gets me going, I don't want to spin.
It gets a lot shallower here and a bit firmer, so it'll still be hard, but a bit easier.
Good. So far, so good. We're riding on top of the snow. Just gotta let the winch catch up.
Over here is so worth it. Once we get there, there's like 3 completely open mountains.
We're on top of the hill now. Just going little by little.
From about the glacier till here, how many kilometers? About 5? It took us about 6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours I think is what the GPS is saying. If it's like this the whole way to that town, then it'll be all day tomorrow too. But it's an adventure.
Rope's hot. Keep turning. Just keep going. Yeah.
You guys need a ride?
Get up here.
Worsley is a bulldozer.
Yes! Almost there. I've never been so happy to go 20 feet.
Oh boy, oh boy. The other thing about this snow is it was packed down by snowmobiles all winter, so it's got a hard crust on top. Really soft, deep
Oh
underneath.
my word. That doesn't look that promising.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, there's gravel. I can see a lot more of that soon.
Maybe go right down to it so I can stand it off the snow.
I just want to be inside of the boys. Alright, we're in the meadow. Wow. Now we've got to get Vandy up there. It's not going to be easy either. But she has a winch too.
Looks like they have to winch Vandy now. Better go back and help. Somewhere is Max Tracks too. So whoever comes up will get 2 Max Tracks. We've been digging, looking for probably the last hour, trying to find them. And no luck so far, unfortunately. Because we still have a long ways to go. Hopefully we'll keep looking for them. Ready to go in?
Let's do it. 2 poles instead of 25. It was like a false summit, right?
Yeah.
Like when we climbed South Sister, there's a first summit. You get over that and you're like,
I'm not even
no,
close.
we're not even close. So that feeling of coming up after a full day, the kids working themselves to the bone, and then we get over and realize it's a false summit.
Yeah, that was at first a little disappointing, but then again, how the kids' attitudes were, you know, none of us wanted to be the one that was like down and out.
Okay, so we got stuck again. We're probably just gonna set up for the night up here and hope that it's frozen in the morning, that the snow is a lot more frozen and we can drive on top of it, because it's been warming up all day and we're just sinking through. So we'll probably pack up and get out early if we can. We still got a little ways to go, but we'll be okay. It's probably a chilly night up here on top of the mountain, but anyway, it's one of those situations. We got into some snow and we thought it's either go back or keep going. It should get better going forward. We were in gravel roads for the longest part of the day, and then all of a sudden we got into this stuff. So at this point we have to keep going forward. There's no backtracking, so we'll do our best, and that's all we can do.
Oh.
So then it's not on directly on the wet.
All right.
Quickly as though.
My big camera is charged. Can you go get it?
Yeah.
Wow, that was all for naught because now all the snow just went away.
Ourselves into some snow.
A lynx. Look at this. I've never seen a lynx in the flesh.
Good enough spot, and I'll get the big stuff. They just had bulldozer or something and had like drawing of Worsley with bulldozer in front of it.
These buckets you're gonna come up.
So, you know, in Caroline's style, she started pulling out the kitchen and making a beautiful chili, like on top of the pass right there. And she just started working, but like she had to bend way down because the snow was so high, and the Jeep was so sunken and stuck that we were chopping and stuff down here when normally it's at, you know, hip level or higher on the Jeep. My only concern was she's making this gourmet meal, and it was cozy and it was, you know, going to warm us up, but there was a dead lynx, like not even like 30 feet from us in a trap.
Not that old, eh? It would be completely hard. Wow. It's a lynx or a big bobcat.
It's a lynx, there's no bug
here. In a trap there. Well, we are in, yeah.
And we were pretty concerned about grizzly bears and just the safety, just even with our tents being so low to the ground at that time. But she was in such good spirits, I didn't want to crush it, and we just cleaned up really, really good. And
it certainly was a delicious meal that
Yeah.
helps get your spirits up
and
too.
that's exactly what we needed
Yeah.
during that time.
Sure you have a bear spray? I don't think you do. Boys? Yeah? I don't think you have a bear spray. You have it? Yeah. Are you guys eating them?
We have one up here for sugar.
Pete's shooting our GPS coordinates using the Garmin to my brother Seth and my brother Ben, just so they know where we are and have an exact location. And tomorrow, well, I'm sure we'll be fine getting out of here, but you know, it's always best to have people know where you're being able to follow along. So if we had to text and say, you know, we need help getting out of here, they'd know exactly where we are.
Can't run into water up here, really. Do you think that wouldn't be enough, will it?
Yeah.
These are okay. Step one, we have to thaw out our boots or we won't get out there.
Hopefully the snow being icy will help.
Hopefully it gives us a bit of traction. These guys. Once it warms up, we're Alright, it is May 2nd. We had a good night's sleep here, stuck in the snow. GPS guy says we're about 20 kilometers from the town. And we're hoping it's not 20 kilometers of what we went through yesterday. But right now we are stuck. So step one is we're going to have to get ourselves unstuck and then test going forward. Hopefully things get shallower and then we start getting into lower elevation and get back onto dirt roads. So that's, I think, what we're going to do, because going back is going to be a big job. So that's what we're up against right now. But right now we are stuck in the wilderness, and thankfully we have our Garmin and my brothers know my coordinates where we are, so we're not too worried about that. But yeah, we've got to get out of here.
should I be in?
So it begins.
There she is. Oh no, tell me.
Oh,
That's all 4.
We should just go right down to 8.
Like last time, just keep pushing. Yeah.
Just gonna do small runs.
Good.
Good.
does it look slushier in the sun?
A little bit.
So the reason why we were doing all this is the winch on Worsley last night in the dark, when someone was winding it in, they weren't feeding it from side to side so it fed properly. It rolled up properly, so it all bundled up into one spot. It kind of cinched itself so tight as it got to the end, so we couldn't pull it out and free spool or even when it was engaged. So what we did was we attached to a big stump and we attached Vandy to pull Worsley out and just kept backing up until it popped it out of the being cinched, and then could start free spooling again where we can attach it to a tree. So it worked, it was good.
What was that?
Oh no, the traps are right there. Probably because it's warm.
That's moving.
Get Lando back.
Lando!
Lando. Undo the yellow then.
Stay, Lando.
I'll pull him.
One pull will get me over the top.
Look, that's my sock. Not much of winter boots. Can't feel my feet. All right, so at this point, we're kind of just moving literally almost just foot by foot. Thankfully, we've had like 2 sections where we can drive at least like 500 feet without having to pull out the winch. But just seems like every time we get on a downhill to flat and we're driving fine, we get to another uphill spot where we always get stuck. So we're just gonna be winching out of this uphill and hopefully we make it down. It's at least like 6 kilometers to what looks like a turn to start heading down out of this mountain pass. But, and we're hoping at that point the snow is less. Like when we were coming in, there was patches of snow, but it was a lot less because you're lower altitude, but we're just gonna see.
CrossFit.
Center track, pulling the entire Jeep. Yeah, that's reasonable. It's just a little bit of an uphill, just a dumb little hill that we have to go over, and then it goes down again.
Did you say dumb?
Mm-hmm.
No.
We got about 19 kilometers left, and we're going about 3 kilometers an hour. So you can imagine it's gonna take a while, especially if we hit some more deep stuff and have to keep winching.
So this is long and slow. My goodness, this is probably what Shackleton and Worsley felt like, just navigating and just inching their way out of the snow and the ice packs. But my goodness, I almost feel emotional just watching the kids work so hard to get out, and our equipment and everything. I look at overlanding in a whole nother perspective after going through something like this. If we can get out of this, we'll hold our heads up high. It's basically go 3 feet, back up, do it all over again. There, we got about a foot. That's steep. Randy stayed back a hair. Just wait.
How do you get so stuck?
I don't know.
I want to wait for Bandy to be closer.
It's ice underneath, it's fine.
Let yourself fall down it. Watch out. Stop whining, it's binding.
second camp after a hard day's work. Got stuck a bunch of times, but we made some pretty good progress. It looks like it's downhill from here, but still super deep. But we're riding on top of the snow most of the time, so that's what we hope we'll do tomorrow. Right now I'm siphoning some gas out of our AEV fuel caddy and just topping up. And hopefully we have enough gas to get down to town. There's a town up ahead about, I don't know, 19 kilometers or less now because we've come a ways today, and we'll be able to get fuel there. Worst case scenario, if we ever ran out here, we have our Garmin. We could email my brother, who could call somebody to snowmobile it up to us, but I don't think it'll come to that. Good morning. It is May 3rd. We're still stuck up here in the woods, making a little bit of headway each day. Not much right now. Just got up. Got snow up above. Have rain here. Thankfully we came down a bit of elevation, so we have rain instead of snow, but as you can see, it is still very deep. We are gonna use the fuel we have and keep plugging away today. Hopefully we get far enough to get to a dirt road, but anyway, not the best situation, I'll tell you that, but we're making the best of it.
I had a really restless sleep. You know, I was starting to think scenarios through. What if we run out of fuel? How are we going to get out of here? Are we going to have to get a ride out with the snowmobile and leave the Jeeps for, you know, it could be weeks before the snow melts enough to get them out? All kinds of scenarios going through my head. And as the sun came up, I was saying a little prayer, like, we need some help down here. Anything you can do for us, we could use the help. And almost immediately we started to hear rain hitting the canvas of the tent. And my initial thought was, oh no, that's not good. I mean, that's the worst thing ever. But we got up, we packed down our camp, and we started off. And initially there was an uphill, and we got stuck just like the 2 days before. And we thought, man, this is just gonna be another day of this.
Lando, come. Lando. Oh. What on earth?
But we realized that my prayer had actually been answered. The rain was working in our favor. What it was doing was over time changing the composition of the snow from those ice pellets to more of a packing snow. Now all of a sudden we're starting to get grip, and we could drive without getting stuck. And so we started moving slowly, and just there was an excitement. Hey, this is what we were looking for. Maybe we could get out of here.
It's a bridge.
There's a bridge ahead. Hopefully we can winch to that.
Maybe try backing up over that bump. More.
And we're moving forward now. My phone, which had the app for our GPS, was dead. It died overnight. So Caroline was plugging it in and trying to get it to wake up. And then when it did wake up, we said, well, let's check where we are. And our hearts sank. We realized we had gone about 2 kilometers past a turn that we were supposed to take. Now we're in the middle of a clearing, and there's no stumps, rocks, or trees to winch to. We're not stuck. But if we did get stuck, we were in pretty dire straits at that point. And really, that was probably the lowest of the whole thing, where I was sitting there just contemplating what to do. I don't want to get my family into trouble up here. What if I hit our emergency button on the Garmin, send out a signal to search and rescue, letting them at least know we're here? And man, I got to the point where I pulled open the button and I actually held it. And it gives you 3 seconds to cancel, and it was 3,
2. And just before the 1 second when the alarm would go off, I pulled my hand off, and I got an idea right then and there. I said, I got one more thing I think we should try. And so what the idea was I'm gonna really carefully try to turn the Jeep around. And we weren't even filming at this point because of just the feeling of absolute and utter despair. But I worked forward and back, careful not to slip into the deeper snow, and packing down that packing snow that the rain was creating, making a bit of a platform. And bit by bit, just work by, like they talk about a 3-point turn, this was like a 30-point turn. And I finally got turned around, and then I sneaked by Vandy. Our tires rubbing against each other, and got facing backwards. See, the idea I had was, you know what we could do? Now that the snow is in a condition that it is, why don't we follow the trail we made back out of here? Yes, we're gonna have to cross the avalanche again. Yes, we're gonna have to go up that hill that we were getting stuck coming down, but it's a better chance than going forward. And then we turned Vandy around using the same platform that we had created. And now we're both facing that way. Then we hitched up both vehicles together and started going back.
Hope we get out of this fun. I think we just did one of the most insane mistakes I've ever made on a trail. We've been struggling this is the 3rd day now, pretty much 10 hours a day through these snow trails. And we finally thought we were coming to the end of this pass. You're not pointing at me?
Yeah, we're good. We're just following right behind.
We finally thought we're at the end of this mountain pass. We're gonna start decreasing our elevation, get into some less snow, gravel roads, hopefully. But we finally made it like a couple of kilometers without having to winch we were literally winching for inches is what we've been saying for the past few days, because we'd just be pulling, winching from tree to tree, literally just to get a couple of feet. We've been doing that for kilometers now a day. And finally today we've been making it like at least 10K without having to pull out the winch really once, thankfully. But then, just as we were coming up to the last hill, I was thinking in my head, like, this is gonna be the last main challenge and probably we're just gonna be downhill from there. Turns out that our GPS was paused the whole time. Whatever app we're using, you can pause it and then it doesn't track where we are moving. And we took a wrong turn, and the whole 10 kilometers that we've been driving has just ended up putting us further into the mountain pass. Thankfully it's been downhill, but now that means we gotta go all the way back uphill pretty much, right back to where we started, and then start heading down whatever trail it ends up being. It could just be another whole day of flat or uphill, winching for inches. We don't know.
How much gas do you have?
Yeah, and we're low on gas. I've got a quarter tank left, and pretty sure they're just as bad. They've already used the Long Range America tank. We're having troubles with ours, and we just used our back caddy. We had 10 gallons yesterday, so we only have a quarter left, however this goes.
And I started getting excited because we were moving. We'd come to places where we had been bogged down and stuck, and it was all dug out, and we'd get stuck there again. But what would happen is Vandy would be on high ground. If I got stuck in the front vehicle, they would use the winch, pull me back, and then I'd take a run at it, and then if they got stuck, I would pull them forward.
Nice. Oh, thank goodness.
it was quite cool to just to hear the emotions in the Jeep of like just, you know, everyone listening to the tires, to the engine, and just watching that rope. And then like you would see Pete
started coming back.
you'd see Pete get stuck, but we could pop him right out, and we just started really moving, not fast, but a good pace of just moving forward.
Now let's just get over it ourselves.
All right, I'll be coming through right now. Like a glove.
Let's get on to where we camped the other night, maybe.
It was just so exciting to just slowly going up, and I think we were all leaning forward.
Yeah.
Last passage.
And so what took us 2 days going forward, in a couple of hours we were heading back through the same way, and we found ourselves coming up the hill that we had come down the first time we got stuck. Just at the bridge.
Beauty.
I never thought of it.
That's amazing. We just made it through the last thing. When we first came here 3 days ago, we were just driving full speed, came to that last snow patch there, and that's when we first were getting stuck, and it was just literally an uphill battle from there. We didn't make it. That's pretty insane. It's weird putting in that much effort into something like, you know, just seriously pushing yourself to the limit till the end of the day for 3 days and then having to turn around and come back. But honestly, I don't really care.
What a relief, what a relief, what a relief. They did well coming out. We still have a ways to go, so I'm not counting the chickens before they hatch. And we also have to climb over the snow slide avalanche. But this is all good progress we're making today.
Hopefully we can make it to the ranger station and get some gas.
That'll be the key. I'm idling, so I'm barely using any, so I'm just under half. So
Mandy, she's thirsty.
Mandy's a little more thirsty. Pop it back on, but we're missing one of these guys. It won't affect anything other than it makes it wobbly like you had when you were
I didn't like that at all. No, I think I have a whole pack up in there.
I know, it's because you have no choice. If we move and like we're not stopping, I still look where we are though. Now it looks pretty. Now that there's a dirt road beneath me. Like I love off-roading, but snow is demonic. Slushy snow. If it was powder snow, we could have blown right through it. But slushy, melting, freezing snow. And it's like, what do they call that type of snow? Like elephant snot or whatever?
Elephant snot, yeah.
It's like half ice, half snow.
Get this corner and then an avalanche.
Hey, your shovel!
Once you get here, just drive. All right. Better get over this fast. It's gonna be raining. Want to back up and give her a bit more speed?
Tension. Gotta get over this to get out of here.
They're doing it though. After days of shoveling, we're still going.
You sis.
Wowza, wowza.
Thank you.
Wowza. Thanks, Mom. What'd you do it? We made it over with one. Now for Vandy. Alright, one up, one to go.
What about Vandy though? I don't think she can flip like that so much. She's so top heavy.
Yeah. We'll be alright.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, you can put rocks in the low spots maybe, Pete's.
Let's
I'll
do
just
that.
go a bit
I'll
slower.
get close and help him out.
If we do what we did on where we're gonna have to do.
I'll take her a bit slower.
Oh! Tell Dad to stop! The back was open!
Back.
After lunch!
Spice box, everything. Wait, I don't want to slip backwards on you guys. Nothing's fast.
We can't shut it. Everything's jammed. One sec.
Bando, grab something.
I think this whole expedition is teaching us something.
Yeah. Guess we were in a bit of a hurry there. Lunch wasn't done and we were driving away. It's my fault.
Yeah.
Pete, Dan. Wow, these things came in handy for us out there. Well, we are very, very happy and relieved. We had a few pretty kind of hairy moments where we didn't know whether we'd make it out or not, but we got out. But we're low on fuel in Vandy, and actually so low that we were going to try to make it out to a town with a gas station, but we were down to our last, well, she's running on fumes, put it that way. So we've set up camp here by the Kootenai River, not too far from, probably a good 45 minutes to a gas station. So me and Carol in the morning will head out there, buy a jerry can, fill it up, bring it out here, and pick up Bandy, and then carry on our journey across Canada on the back roads and the snow roads and the mountain roads all the way home to our island in Ontario.
So you could say, you know, maybe it was irresponsible to cross the avalanche and get into that problem to begin with, and maybe so. But looking back, we do not regret our decision to have that adventure. Sometimes you've got to just go for it. And what it did for us as a family, the things we learned about ourselves, about our equipment, about nature, and the craziness of the mountains and the dangers you can face. We learned so much, and we get together as a family often and speak about that whole adventure. You know, if we had just turned around and taken a dirt road somewhere else, we probably wouldn't be talking about it today.
Yeah, it seems like when things go wrong, those are more the memories that you remember. It's like any trip. If it's downpouring the whole time, you know, in the moment it's a little bit maybe uncomfortable, but later when you're talking, those are the things that you remember the most.
Yeah.
And just how we all take it in those stressful situations, to not be overcome with fear, but to problem solve and work together as a team. And with, you know, the kids and Peter and I, man, that's what got me so emotional even in the moment, was just like, wow, this isn't, no one's yelling at each other. Not one person raised their voice or threw something after winching for inches. And by the end of the whole trip, when we were sitting there safely in our camp, and Pete and I just kind of looked at each other, and we looked down at one of the straps, and it was just shredded. Like, we actually kept it for a long time before throwing it out, because it was just what that thing had gone through, and we really used all of our gear, and we found out how valuable recovery gear is, and just even little things. Like, I always now keep a stash of like Snickers bars or something like that, because when you're in those situations, I remember, oh my goodness, I had Snickers bars, and I pulled them out into like half them and give them to the kids at that time. Everyone just felt so good.
Yeah, this was that time I was telling about, where we were hopelessly stuck. Everyone was freezing cold and tired, and you just start to really, you know, not feel so great. And then Carol went, wait a minute, I have a Snickers bars, and that's all it took. Oh, that just was so good. I just remember that. It was such a pick-me-up at the time. But last thing we'll say for you guys, it's fun to go out and have adventures as a family, and we highly recommend you do that. But always go safely and go prepared. We didn't go out there blindly. We had a couple of things that made it so that we were safe while we were out there. Auxiliary fuel tanks. Without spare fuel, we would have been in trouble on day one. Communications to the outside world. Nowadays there's Zoleo, there's Spot, there's Garmin. Always have that with you, because in a place where there's no cell service, you've got to be able to communicate with the outside world. They have Starlink now too, which is amazing. So we didn't have any of that back then. We had lots of food, tons of food, with emergency backup food. We had ways of filtering water and carrying water. There was lots of lakes and rivers. We could have dug through the ice and got endless amounts of fresh water. So, and then shelter. We had our tents, but also Mr. Heater buddies with big propane tanks. So we had what we needed to at least last up there for a couple of weeks if we had to. And that's what I would recommend. Yes, go on an adventure, but go prepared.
Precious fuel.